That's a request. Smiling Faces by David Ruffin. That's from Martha Muhammad in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're back with our special, a follow-up to TV One's Unsung. Did a show on David Ruffin March the 4th, and so many questions since that aired that we felt it was necessary to do a follow-up to try to clear up some of the things that were said about this legendary artist that's widely known around the world. That a brand new side of David Ruffin has been portrayed after over 50 years that the public knew this fella, being portrayed as an abusive father. That's the most talked about of the whole segment, about him being abusive. That's it overshadowed everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing how a man can go and record his whole life, and at the end, it's about being abusive. It kind of reminds you of the Sam Cooke story. First artist to own a record company, produced himself, owned his own publishing, and at the tail end, they tried to portray him as a rapist.
Right.
As a rapist. Mr. Gentleman, Sam Cooke, everybody says he's a gentleman. But it didn't fly with the public. It didn't fly with the public, so they was able to erase that part off Sam Cooke that he was a rapist. It didn't stick. But if you don't watch it with this here, people that don't know David, this could easily stick to him. That he's a great singer, but he's so abusive, and especially to children. Now he do have three daughters, and one son, David Jr. We have Nidra, Kimberly, and Cheryl. And right now, Kimberly is in the studio here. And Kimberly, I'm gonna look at you and ask you a question.
Okay.
Have your dad ever been abusive to you?
No, he hasn't been abusive, but he was disciplining when we were lied on by my brother.
Is that right?
My dad thanked me, I would say, once, maybe twice, because of getting in trouble because of my brother. He would lie. My dad would give us money and say, go to the store on Halloween and get something small. He would give my brother a $20 bill and say, you're allowed to just get one thing and bring back my change. Well, when we would get out the door and on the way to the store, I would ask my brother, David, so what did Dad say when you went upstairs? He said, oh, he said we can spend this all on Halloween candy. We can spend. I said, the whole thing? He said, yeah, the whole thing. We could buy a lot of penny candy. Back in the day, it was penny candy.
Right.
So we came back with this big brown bag, grocery bag of penny candy, $20 worth. And so I walked in the house and my dad said, so what y'all getting? And I'm all happy. I'm like, we got candy. And he said, well, what did you get? And I said, we got candy. We spent the $20 on candy. He said, you did what? and I'm like, well, David said that you said that we can spend the $20 on the candy. And he said, both of y'all get in there. I didn't say that. I said, well, David told me you said that. And he said, no. So I would get a spanking because David would lie. And these were the type of, I only had 2 whoopings in my whole life, entire life from my dad, and it was because of my brother.
So it wasn't directly because of you.
It wasn't because I was getting in trouble. He was abusive. He would do it because of lies. My dad was a truthful person. Okay. He didn't like lies. Nobody to lie. And that was one of his pet peeves. Do not lie. And David just couldn't seem to get that. David Jr. couldn't seem to get it.
Really?
So.
Boy, I tell you.
And to this day, you still don't seem to get it.
Well, again, we're gonna invite David to join along at the 20 Grand Review, 248-557-1460. Feel free to call in, David, if you like, and speak up and speak your piece. And we're also taking callers live Same number, 248-557-1460. And we also will take a request. Anything by David Ruffin, same number. Now let's move back a little bit before the unsung segment. There was always talk about David being mischievous, always into mischief or something like that.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a moment. What was he actually like on a daily basis at home?
Okay, him being an entertainer, he would be up at night doing shows, rehearsing late hours, so he would sleep pretty much all morning to early afternoon. And he didn't like to be disturbed when he's sleeping because he has to get his rest. He has to rest his voice.
Right.
And he would get up a lot of times, getting on us because we're playing with kids. We're running around the house, and he's like, "Be quiet, I'm trying to get some sleep." And he was just a father, a regular father.
Okay.
People ask all the time, "What is it like to have your father be David Ruffin?" I'm like, "It's the same thing as your father being your father." It's the same thing, He was a good dad.
Is that right?
He was a good dad. He talked to us a lot. We was open about our feelings with him, and anything that was bothering us, we can come to him. He always would say that. He was nurturing and caring and loving father. He would see us regularly. If he was out of town, he came home. First place he came was to us.
Okay.
And would see us. He would call us often. So we went on trips, Cedar Point, Bablo, different picnics and outings and different things like that. We did all the time.
And then when you go to places like Cedar Point or Bablo, you're there with your dad, but you still have to share with everybody in the park, right?
Yep. Everybody in the park. As we're walking along,
that's right.
Everybody wants an autograph. Well, we understood that.
You did understand it.
Yeah, because we were born into it. So.
Okay. Sandra, when you two were married, did you understand how to be an entertainer's wife? Because that takes a lot. That takes a lot of women to be an entertainer's wife.
It wasn't like that then.
No?
No. It was like, okay, when I met him, he cut a record.
Okay.
It wasn't like no big deal to me. It was like, it's just like everything just grew on you. Just grew. And you might thought.
Okay. Take your time.
What was that question again?
What was it like being his wife? Like I said, it takes a lot.
Okay, when I met him, we were young.
Okay.
And he recorded a record when I met him.
Right.
So I think it was about the third time I met him that I heard the record. Okay. But it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like, So, it grew on me, and like it hit the radio.
Okay.
After it came on the radio and everything, it was a little different. Then I went to see a show, and then it became more, invited.
Now, how about, was it hard to see how the women would flock to him and want an autograph and things like that? Did that bother you at all?
No.
No? You understood that was just part of the business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Belinda, did you go to a lot of David shows?
Yes.
You did? How did you react to know that's your brother-in-law up on stage? And all these people clapping for him and hollering for more and more.
I reacted fine because I understood what entertainment was all about.
Okay. Yeah, you have to understand. Otherwise, you would have a disastrous
Only thing I
relationship.
couldn't understand actually was how the women screamed and hollered the way that they did. And I was very young.
Okay.
And how they would throw their panties on the stage.
Is that right?
just all kind of things,
Yeah.
So I'm like, those women are crazy. But that's just the way it was.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's amazing how a person can put their voice on cold wax and be known all around the world. You know, the name is, you know, everybody knows the name, David Ruffin.
Yeah.
When he left the Temptations, were you a little worried about that? Where his career would go?
No.
No.
No. He just told me like what happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, it was him. You know, it wasn't me. I was more like raising my children.
Okay.
You know, I traveled some, but I didn't travel a lot.
Gotcha.
You know, I went more so in the beginning, but when I had 3,
It made a difference, huh?
it made a difference, right?
Boy.
The first show that I went with him was in Muskegon.
Okay.
The second one was in Chicago. I met a lot of people.
That's before the Temptations, right?
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
Met a lot of people.
Okay, we're gonna do a song by David off the Gentleman Ruffin album. It's called Love Supply, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about Otis Williams, how he feels about David Ruffin. Stay tuned.